Yeah, let it go. Yeah, let it go. Yeah, me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go. Yeah, me let it go. Go, 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 go. Oh, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give your heart to Jesus. Let him take control. Just sit and watch it. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait, so you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret enemies. Let it go. Your wife is getting married to another man. Your husband are falling in love with another woman. Don't let it bother you. I've said let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if you say you will continue to be a zogo, if you say you will continue to be a prostitute, if you say you will continue to be a beggar, you will not marry, you will not bear your own children. If you say your knee is borrow, Sunday go to meeting, mommy can say no, Johnny Ginger. Just let it go. Jesus will change your story. Let it go. 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 Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go, man.
Yeah. Mighty blow. Holla. Nobody do it like you do it, you a true God. Yes. You always hear me when I say my prayer with few words. But Genesis and they plenty in this new world. Read the power every day, that while I'm still a good boy. Jehovah bigger than your problem, so just let it go. Just keep on praying, he will make your blessing overflow. To be the best and more the rest, you gotta pray more. The God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the God of mighty blow. But there is power in your blood, and while I'm giving praises. Yes. I gotta dance the dividends, they think I'm getting crazy. But love is how you make it, brother, may not be here. Say every time I sing, I'm on my knees, begging God for mercy. Thank you for your God, blessing and forgiveness. You solved my problem, Lord, you took me from the wilderness. Now only you can feel my struggle when I'm really stressed. So my papa bless me, then my enemy, they get the best. No matter what the problem is, man, just let it go. Your delay is not your denial, everybody know. Just keep on trusting in Jehovah, he will give you more. He took me from the grass, he can take you from the rock and roll. Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. Oh, let it go. Let it go.
Good evening, folks. Very shortly, we're going to get a program underway. To want to welcome you to this program this evening. I'm Afonso Zienso. And very shortly, the panelists they're going to be here for us to have a conversation. Just do us a favor, just hit the share button and invite someone at your company as we are about to get the program right on the way here this evening. Welcome to the show.
Let it go. I say you spread a suppression. Let it go. Spread a denial, spread a depression. Let it go, man. Oh, I'm tired. Pack your low and go. If you're picking, take your chemo. Let it go. Your best friend, take your horse, man. Let it go. If your wife said we are not compatible, let it go. Say you're not my type, man. Just let it go. if someone killed for you before. Yeah. They kill your mother and they kill your father. They kill your wife and make your children homeless.
All right, let's get a program going.
They kill your husband and your children father.
The art of forgiveness is what lacking in our community. Let's see. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your evening with us right here on the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. I'm Alfonso Zian, so right here, we sincerely apologize. It's like 13 minutes, a little bit late. You see like that, and there's something running behind somebody too. So we got to catch up with our own things around here. So sometimes it becomes very hectic. But because of your commitment and something that we sign off as well, too much is ongoing in our country, so we need to have these conversations on a regular basis with the hope that we can find a common solution, not just only doing adapting to what we call this blame game, pointing fingers, and nothing pragmatic is being done to solve the problem. He didn't do it the last time. She didn't do it, so I can't do it. So who want to do it now? That's the key question. And so we need to have this conversation with open mind, talk knowing the fact that it's about a sovereign country. So your view, my view, her opinions, your opinion will be varies. You have to just put out that sort of a convincing tool to persuade, to make your argument more logical and convincing. So when somebody don't, comprehension, that's another key thing that deficit that we suffer from in our society. People just hear one thing and they don't allow their friends, colleagues to end the sentence and conclusion is being drawn. And that's one of the serious problems we have, for which we are not making the progress we should be making. And we convict people before even the trial starts. It's wrong. It is unacceptable. And here on LPR, we give all the opportunity. I think a lot is being playing out there today. So we're going to talk to the panelists. And I hope I sharpened your phone lines as well. We need to hear from you, because too much soundbite stories all in there, all sort of self-interpretation to suit their mind, their political dividend, what the thing they're going to get at the end of the day. Instead of putting ahead the national issue, what is a national security issue, to what is affecting the country, or what are the long term. We need to look at all of the pros and cons as to how we got to this place here and what is lacking. Because if we fail to address this issue nationally and with a civil and nationalistic mind, it doesn't matter who becomes the president. We're going to come back to the same thing here, and they will start telling us the other group that didn't do it the last time. Helen Johnson said he didn't do it. Joy, we didn't do it. So how you guys want us to do it? So I like to get ahead of the game, both on the short term, long term, so that tomorrow we all will be held accountable. Well, our senior contributor, Otelia Joy, is in California, is joining this forum, and we'll try to do the best we can. Hopefully, please, if for any reason I'm taking away, please remind me. We want to put a number out there this evening so that we hear what do you hear for yourself. Don't just take it from us. You doing your own research as well. You also have valuable information. So we need to engage the viewers, the listeners, the followers, Liberians, non-Liberian, about what is unfolding. Somebody must be held accountable. We can't keep having this sort of stuff here. Politicians try to remotely regulate our lives, and we don't even think, because of our political attachment, we draw conclusions and convict people without giving them the opportunity. This is not what the people do here. Even if you are caught with a gun, they will ask you, are you guilty or not guilty? It's left for you to tell them you are guilty or not guilty, and they will give you your day in court. I am Alfonso Zian, so welcome to the show. Let me bring in Otelia here this evening. Let's start this conversation here. She's now joining me from California, CA. How is the store? How are you? Been seeing a lot of horrible images coming from outside. What's going on there?
I know it's been some crazy weather, but I love it. It did not snow
Are you
where
kidding me? You love it?
I do, because you know we need some kind of rain. We need some other weather besides the sun. You know, because of yeah. So I
How
was really
is
excited about
how's
it.
your area in terms of like safety and everything?
My area is fine. I live downtown LA. It just rained. That's it. But it did snow in Lancaster. Lancaster is about an hour away from me. It's
Oh,
more in the mountains, so it definitely snowed out there.
oh.
But
California for a
my area
drama
was
when
fine.
there's no snow, then some kind of storm or fire. We're gonna be
I
yeah, what to
know.
be for the other side.
I know.
Okay, well, we pray for friends, brothers, sisters, the country, and those that are going through that snow because I watched news and I mean people houses literally covered and people stranded calling for help. That's just crazy, man. Well, also wanted to come in the cold, so yeah, we are. We in the cold, so the beauty, there's a goodness of the cold and other challenges. We want
Right.
to welcome our viewers and listen up, Makit, German Jalat. Let's give love to this Friday. Let's make them happier this evening. And I really want them to call because the drama out there is, I think, is required national conversations. Whether you are part of a party, you are not part of a party, I think we should give people the opportunity to have this conversation. Madam Emma Craig, welcome, Elisha, right here to my own Ocean State. May Koto Jalat, our contributor, the Amos George, the ANC Daha, Dorothy Service. Good evening. Good to have you here this evening. As we go on, we'll try to give recognition. Okay, let me come to you here, Ottilia. How is everything on your end so far?
Everything is good. You know, I celebrated my birthday last weekend.
Oh, it was a
Uh,
over.
yeah, so it's been a very busy February, but it's the new month. March is going to be a little bit more laid back. But I'm
Okay.
doing good. How are you? I love your African shirt. It's really nice.
Really?
You look good. Yes.
Okay. Who am I?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's part of it. We gotta even when we don't have it, we gotta make sure here, and that's the important. Somebody say just how you appear, that's how your talking looks like.
Yes.
So and people come in not that they don't have nothing to do,
Mhm.
but we all find ourselves in different places where we think we are more effective in terms of doing something of a substance. Okay, thank you so much. Since they're going to be here a little bit later, but so we got to value the people time. You can't just come out. It doesn't matter what I owe or new, but your share car falling on your elbow, falling down. You want somebody to listen to you. What the hell?
Right.
What the hell? Who is this guy? Who is this person? Who
Exactly.
really going to listen to him? He looks like that, you know.
Right.
So,
People judge you based
and
on
the
what
thing about it, whether we like it or not, what on check that link, check your email, I send that link. And the thing about it is not only to Liberian. Listen to us. I have a couple of people from different nationalities, African, Senegalese, Nigerian, the other guy from Sudan.
you.
And out of that, people peruse the social media to know what is going on. And so it doesn't matter which network you represent, but your nationality speaks for itself that, oh, this person. So whatever you're doing out there, to see it as something of a Liberia, of
Mhm.
a country. So
Mhm.
we got to be very careful in the language, our
Mhm.
tone, but this freedom of speech or freedom or whatever. So liberty, but it's just been so much. People just use it any kind of way, and they just think they can get away with it.
Exactly. They take it
Uh,
for granted.
yeah, I think I don't know what I wish. Do you know Mark Zuckerberg number?
If I know Mark Zuckerberg number,
Their Facebook because there are some people really honestly they need not to be on this sort of innovation. If you
yeah,
can't help the people, you can't provide something valuable, and you try to abuse other people, technology, skill, innovation. What's the point?
exactly. And then they call it freedom of speech. No, it's
Yeah,
not freedom of
you
speech.
can't even pull two colors together to come up with something.
Right.
Somebody who took up their time, create something to create connection worldwide, relate to people in so many forms and contexts, and you have people doing all kinds.
Exploited.
Sometimes it's. But you know what? You know what I realized. Let me bring in Koto to Jalabala in. what I realized, Liberia more or less is
Hi,
a
Miss
dramatic
Corto.
Hey, how you doing? How
I'm
you?
doing very
a lot
well.
of drama. If no drama, nothing goes on. So, and they feel they will on Gloria Mususka. Trust me, before next week, another ball will drop.
Well, people love
Okay,
drama.
ladies,
Let's
everybody
know.
looks so great. Good evening to welcome. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, right?
Yes, today's Friday.
Thank
Happy belated birthday again, OJ.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's have some little bit of our own time. These liberating here can never finish. What happened during your birthday? What some of the things you did?
Yeah, so I celebrated at a spa with some of my friends. So we went to a very popular spa here in Los Angeles called Glen Ivy. And then I also traveled to Houston for my friend who turned 40. So she had a very big, massive birthday party as well. So I went there last weekend to Houston. So it was fun. You know, I'm just 32 years young. I'm getting up there.
Right. I'm seeing the remnants of the celebration still in here, still visible. Anybody who gets a good vision like myself, you can still see it.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to New Jersey. Let's hear from KJB. What's up this side? Today's Friday. What's on the block?
Oh, thank God.
Sometimes we gotta chill out with this whole Liberia thing.
Yeah, man.
Cholesterol, high blood pressure, and all of those kind of things. Yeah. The guys, our folks, they understand that. Someday we have to do some other things, and then we gotta engage in so many ways. Yeah, what's going on this Friday? KJB.
Well, so good, so calm. So far today is Friday. I just try to make myself feel fine. Just do anything I can do to make myself feel fine. Because
you went to Lofa County today? Tabagi?
No, I did a little fried rice. I didn't go at the end of the day. I went.
Oh, you didn't go Lofa today?
No, I didn't go Lofa today.
Man, I tell you, I'm gonna go Lofa. So I start begging for, start begging for some.
Yeah, this week.
Okay.
Lofa. Yeah.
All right. Okay,
I don't go order in my house.
Look.
Thing there, I don't go order it easily, so I have to put some things, like the tabagi in place. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
You were talking about your birthday. I'm one of those I get really be excited during my birthday time. Oh my God. I don't know whether anybody can be excited like how I can be.
Me.
I think this is what we need to do. I wish you gave us a heads up the other day. Like in the case of Koto, we did a relay. I mean,
you should have seen me that day.
We're just going to capture everything and get it. We're not paying you people. I mean, we ain't got no money here. We want big. So they can't call them big. But sooner or later, we'll start, everybody putting their cash out there. Why we can't even put our own? Or why?
You need to pay us. You owe us.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, news is valuable. It's very expensive, especially quality stuff.
Yes.
People costing to get them money. And not costing, so why do we not want to give our money to?
Yeah,
but anyway, we will come to that point.
Like drama.
Yeah, we have been involved in other initiatives. It's good to give first. And that's like in the case of the students in Morocco at the time and other places, we have done a lot of little fundraiser, whatever, $5 or $10, that is okay. But I just feel we are working on the relocation process. And when we get a place, I strongly feel that before you ask people for something, there must be a legitimate reason. Don't just you ask and you take the gesture of the people that they're going to give. You just ask. Every minute, every second, you put it there. Yeah, give me. So at the end of the day, who you really reporting to? I want to see something of a concrete, tangible, that even when I'm asking, I will showcase it. This is the reason what I'm asking you for nickel or dime. Many of them has called our good friend Mikey. He has made his own voluntary contribution. I said, look, we want to ask, but there must be a reason. Give a convincing reason. You don't take advantage of people kindness and just as to get people. Nobody's saying anything tangible that you're doing, but you want to ask for money. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my view. That's my opinion. That can't stop them from whoever doing it to do what they are doing. Okay, guys, let's have a conversation here. It's unfortunate that too much of thing distracting us. They are really national issues, social issue, infrastructural issue. I mean, variety of things that we're supposed to be talking about as a country, as a people, as a nation. Unfortunately, it's not. Here we are in the proximity of elections. We don't know the other candidates they are running mate. You ask them, they say, oh, 3 months in the USA, they can do this, they can do that. But this is what happens, OJ, when you do not know person and when you decide to do something in the dying minute, you end up making wrong choices. And when that happens, when the person is in now, then you put them aside because that sort of the public did not get the chance to do the vetting. Is this person up to the task? They are not doing it. But here we are. We have been entangled with a lot of crazy stuff, and this the distraction. Oh, yeah, we are with this deaf new. I'm not saying that it's crazy, but I'm surprised to see what is unfolding right now. If you call Sano, you call Maryland, you call other places, children go out there to get something that never return. NTR, never to return home. And you will never see it go explosive like this. So I just don't understand the society. Are we selective? Are we showing our solidarity based on branding or based on what's about that little child who went to go get a little kiss me or like Roberts kiss me or little coconut or something, and some kind of criminal somewhere took that child away, doing all sort of stuff, nothing happens. We'll see what will happen now. And the thing about this sort of Coca-Cola way of doing things in our country, when we so reactionary, when something starts, everybody throwing tantrum and doing sort of stuff. After 1 or 2 days, no result, no follow-up, no going through. The journalists, everybody, we all do that. We still don't get to the bottom line. We just want to become reactionary in the young happening of a story. This is concerning. Can we really survive as a nation like that when we become reactionary? We're not opening our minds to see what is happening and how we can remedy these sort of things. Can it happen? Why are we not going beyond when a child in the village there is missing or reportedly killed and there's no justice? It can't even leave from the village to go to the urban, to the city side, not to even mention Morovia. Politicians, advocacy group, everybody zip their mouth. If it happens to opposition, CDC don't get nothing to do with it. When it happens to CDC, opposition don't get nothing. Then the worst thing they say, and their own people, they look for a. Wow. So I just want us to have this sort of openness conversation here this evening in our own social and real-time world. Is that helping the country, guys?
No. It's definitely not helping the country. But Liberian people, all we can do is talk. We just talk. Go on Facebook, write our opinions, and discuss what's going on. But we never really put in any action. And that's what's missing with our country. We need to be very solution orientated, and we're not. Something will happen. We'll talk about it. We'll go on Facebook Live, talk about it. We'll write about it, discuss it, but nothing happened. If we can change our ways by, going to the government, protesting, going out to people who actually can make the laws and the regulation, talking to them and seeing how we can change certain things, we can go far. But if we just sit on Facebook and just go back and forth with each other, go on these Facebook talk show and just talk, but there's no action, we're never going to move anywhere. So it's kind of sad and disappointing in the same way. I wish we're more actionary and more active based than just talking. It's unfortunate.
Do we have a kind of real advocacy group? And I'm going to be coming to Koto here. The advocacy women group, we see other places. I've been in Cote d'Ivoire, in Ghana, Sierra Leone. I'm not saying everything is 100%. Let me see. This guy, hold on 1 second. Guys, please bear with me. I send this link. I don't know why. Usually, other people get it. Every group get a trouble child, and we got some trouble people here. So we just gotta deal with it. Guys, please bear with me. I'm sending it out again. So just check your link. check your lane, and any other person, just throw a message in the group and I will see you. And perhaps maybe we extend an invitation, open invitation out there. Probably I need to put it, if any other Liberian who watching and they think they want to join the conversation, I can put it out there, and then probably they can join us as well. We need to share this sort of national conversation here. Yeah, so everything is being politicized in the country. People try to gain some sort of political leverage as soon as it happens. Trust me, the people when they can't even talk for the last 1 or 2 months, little opening, politicians everywhere does that. They capitalize on it. Let me come to you, Koto. What is happening of recently? Well, neither I'm not suggesting that the disease or the person is not valid, but there are a lot of things being happening in the country over and over. I'm not sure whether we are getting to the bottom line of it, whether we are addressing it, taking a deep breath, taking the real thought and put our minds and brain together to say, something is happening. Why this thing is kept happening over and over? How can we approach? How can we engage? The government is accountable to its people. Every responsible government will provide, security come first. But the way the politics in Liberia, how the country, the nation is so polarized and divisive. If I'm hired today as a unity partisan, ANC doesn't have anything to do with it. CDC say, that's also what they say. When it happens to CDC, same thing. And I know we can't just clean web this out here, but is there a way that we can take a little bit break as a nation, to say, hey, we need to come together. We need to do better than what we are doing. It doesn't matter which political party or your choice of your political affiliation. When it is rare, we call it out, say this is rare. We need to draw that rare line. Is there any evidence, Koto, you think that we're going to do that now or after or when?
Well, thank you, Mr. So, and I just want to say hi to our Liberian people and wherever you are this time. And I'm glad to be here this evening, and it's good that we are discussing our Liberian issues. I never shy away from our discussion. But like you said, what is happening in Liberia at this time? Every human life is very important.
Mhm.
Even if it is a day old or an unborn child, their life is important. I think that's why you see there are some people advocating to the point that even an unborn child is being advocated for. Every life is important. That's why we give our vote to people so that they will be there to give her the requisite security that we need, because in life that's one of the paramount concern of a citizen, and one of the major thing that you can give to your citizen that they expect from you as a leader. And we expect that whether it is this little girl that in a village, is a little girl that is somewhere, whoever that person is, they should be given security. And it's so sad that, like you said, the child in the village is being harmed and no issue raised against it. But again, when you should have become a leader and serve a role in a country, there are some I don't know whether there are some respect or guardian or some sort of form that should be given you. Is the case with our mother and sister, Mrs. Scott, because she have built, or she has served Liberian government to the highest. So if you see the whole case have become so broad everywhere you're hearing about it, I think that's the reason, because she has been one of our beautiful ladies, and she is, and I can say she has been, because she continues to be one of our beautiful ladies in Liberia, for which, we will pay that respect to her. But again, everybody.
Just carry on. Just carry on.
Okay, and this is why for me, even if a child is affected in Liberia, for everywhere that in Liberia that anything happened to somebody, I become vocal about it because I think we should be respecting our people. You do not come into power and don't respect your people and don't secure or give them that security that they need. Okay, and but we have seen for the past time, because since I'm not saying that other presidents or heads have not had killing going on their administration, but under this administration is so much that even up to this point we have not seen the president to even come on and raise some concern. Even if a child is affected, we want to see the president coming out to raise concern. For example, see what happened to him when his son was playing in foreign land. He took 48 days to be out there to show that love to his child. Then just imagine somebody's child is in harm or being killed. You should be that I should share that feeling with somebody, the feeling that you can share with your child, be able to share with other people for their children. For me, that's how I'm feeling. That I feel bad because if it happens to your child, the love that you show for your child, you should be able to show for other people's children, especially when you are in a higher position like that. People expect you to be the first person to even come out. If you are not even the first, but second or third person to come out and express concern. But for me, that's where I am, Mr. Soldier. This point, I've not seen the president even raising concern. Is troubling to me.
Okay, let Otila come in. And so, just to let you guys know, let me just put this here because it's about a country we don't know it all. There are a lot of people here. I'm going to put this link out here. Today is Friday here. Let's forget about those people. We can speak your mind. As long you not cause my cause, power cause. You cause me, I get BH, black nose, and whatever. Nothing wrong with that.
Because he can't do anything to me now.
Yeah. Don't cause my ladies here. You can say anything to, but don't.
I will not cause
anybody. Our ladies here. Then I play bamboo and diva cola. So that's the link there. We want to hear from people because if you want to come through video, copy that link, copy and paste, and just make sure don't be laying down somewhere or be in a comfortable place. Just how we are here, because I think we need to be taking a kind of different dimensions into these conversations, so people will know that it's serious. Well, all night I can't want to see us sitting there under because I want to, but there are serious things going on in the country, and we need to talk about it. But we are not talking it in the honest faction because we are so politically mind-driven. So if it is not even right, we'll say it. But Koto just said something here, and I see you kind of like, you want to add something to it, OJ?
Yeah, I just had a question. So I'm not really understanding what's going on. So did some children go missing? Are you guys talking about the 4 children that went missing in Liberia?
No,
recently there was a death. They're more having her birthday stuff.
I know that's what happened, but something terrible happened.
There was a lady. Former Chief Justice, Justice Minister, high profile, present. That's not her daughter, right? Is that stepdaughter or is it child?
Adopted
daughter. Got killed in a home, and the investigation is ongoing. And these things, it kind of like you find it very difficult to process how these things happening. Koto, you kind of make a valid point. I'm getting to the point to find it very difficult to understand. I know there are other people be saying president can speak. No, it's not an issue, but there are some instances. There are some things as a father of the nation, sometimes your voice, it adds to the gravity, the sensitivity of the case. So if anybody even tries to play it down, they will do something about it. Sometimes we see when something happens in this country, you see all of a sudden the president go visit or they make a phone call, they do this, they do that. Because people should be held accountable. We can't consistently, repeatedly be having these things. People lives being destroyed, they are citizens of the country, even if they were not citizens, everybody needs life to live.
Did they determine the cost of death?
Well, we yet to know, and we're going to be discussing. We're going to be. Let me bring in from the Constitution State. He's a pro-government supporter. Wharton Carter is here in from Connecticut, joining us here. Okay, my dear brother. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening to my brother, sister Kato, OJ.
Hi.
Nice seeing you again.
Likewise.
Yeah, you seems to be in a very happy mood. You seem to be in a very happy mood this evening.
I'm always.
And there's a lot of great admiration I have for this guy. He's, when people talking, I don't see him. You don't see anything from visual to say like something is. There are some people by the time they call their leader name, oh man, they are blood boiling to the extent they can literally want to do something. But you gotta be a good listener so that you will counteract somebody's point when they are saying something. So thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, brother. So
yeah. So Wharton, the issue about Liberia. I don't know why we are going this sort of direction we are going in. Life is almost like a plastic bag now.
Mm-hmm.
And life is precious. It's irreplaceable. That's just something that you can just, when it gone. Imagine your immediate person out here. Well, like a year or so, my mother said, but still, like this decoration or whatever they coming out, it brings back some sort of feeling. So it doesn't matter whether, but as long as you are obeying, every life is value.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have this conversation, and I'm going to really go any kind of way here this evening, not in a disrespectful way. You are pro-government, pro-GOL, government supporter. Let me move it one here. I think so you will see it right. Okay, no, you input it. Okay, yeah, there, pro-GOL. At what point in time would the president of the Republic of Liberia, in as much responsibility is being dedicated to other people, but at what point in time, sometimes when something becomes monotonous, always happening, you got to take the airway to say, hey, look, this one here, I want to see the end of this whole thing here. Enough is enough. I don't care. It was your vote that brought me in. Someone must be held accountable. And I think this is where the frustrations of other people on the other side, or free thinker like myself, we have. Because what happened when you as a father in the house, when you speak to your children, there's a sanity, there's a hope, there's a resurrection, there's changes take place because you are the breadwinner of the house. And this is why when you go out, the kids look through the window back there to see whether papa coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because why they want to see whether you holding that fancy bread in your hand, what are you holding that candy toffee, like brother man say, or what are you holding some sort of plastic bag? Because the child is running, coming to you. You know what a child running for? Because there's something in your hand. There's a gift, there's a bread, there's a cornbread, there's a rice bread, something to show that sort of love. So the number one person in the country is the president of the Republic of Liberia. So I'm wondering, the advisors, people who he brought on board to also help, are they there because of whatever reason? Are they talking to him on some of these things? And if they are talking to him, what is his own reaction? Or is he not listening? Or, I'm just concerned. I'm not holding him responsible for whatever happens. But when you see the nation sort of driven in sort of a chaotic situation, a lot of people have died. Former government official, they say, well, the case has been concluded. I just don't know. But why, when these things happen, my president is the president of the Republic of Liberia, whether I voted for or not, why he cannot take a prime time and speak to the nation on the blood of Liberians being wasted. A call for not to intervene or to interfere with the investigation, but instruct. You can instruct them, hey, I need to get tell the justice minister I need to get a result, the final of this thing at XYZ period of time. You can put a timeline on it.
So I want to be very honest here, right? And taking all the support to this president, this government, but I want to be honest as Liberian first, because the future of our country lies in our hands. Young people, whether you old or young, we should be able to speak and know truth. What I do understand in this, in our country, Liberia, is there is a big divide. So anything that is happening in the country is politicized. Anything is politicized. So if the president comes out to even speak, to give his input or to give orders, say, I need this to be investigated, it's going to be a big political conversation from the opposition and whoever you think is going to be. If the president just imagine, we got different agencies in government that are responsible to execute their duties. The president cannot overlap his function to make those entities function the way he wanted to function. The police, the security area, the president cannot dictate to them. They are not security of George Weah. They are the security of Liberia. They are responsible to conduct and to also protect, lives and property. So if the president is intervening and telling the security, I want this to stop.
No, not to intervene.
Hold on, come here. So this is some of the things that have been happening in our society that have been so bad. You remember when Tyrone Brown got killed? And it was the same time Jonathan Pilley and the president had conversation, and Jonathan Pilley turned out the president threatening him. Tyrone Brown died. The news spread all in America, that the president was trying to crack down on freedom of speech. As a matter of fact, there was a journalist that was killed by the government, only to find out that this journalist was killed by another guy who came from America because of girlfriend business. He killed this guy. He was trying to cover up, and the whole thing burst open. And today he's in jail in Liberia. But it was a big thing in America. Even what his name, by George. They were all. I heard on LPR, by George was saying they're cracking down on journalists, they're killing journalists. You understand? People should be very careful how we do things in our country. If we do not politicize every little thing, then I will see a point where the president can step out and say, look, too much is...
No, but are we also understanding the president occupies a political office?
Exactly.
But that's the thing. This the thing. Even if he occupies a political office, it does not mean if... So let me ask you a question. If a Yana boy get killed by another Yana boy, the president should kind of give a speech?
If it's something that is a big story everybody is talking about, yes.
If it is a mob violence,
okay, so
the president and the security apparatus should step in. And the reason I'm saying that, not to interrupt you, I will give you your day, is that when you are in the higher office of the land, expect all of this. And if you think, because I take this decision and people will say this, then that's a serious problem. The thing here, destruction, life is involved. All right, like anything, because like what you're talking about, Yana Mesa, then that's a mob violence. That is unacceptable. That is a dangerous crime forever, because when it starts, it's not going to end there. It's going to spread out. It's just like when you have this gang. But the only person that can intervene or speak and give instruction, look, this thing is a nonsense. We do not want it in this country. No one has the right to take another person's life. You don't want to live, whatever you want to do to yourself. Well, we're not going to tell people to go commit suicide, but I do not have no right to inflict pain or injury on you. Neither you two have the right. And so when we see this sort of thing going on and on, we are not saying it is the president or the government is a chief facilitator of doing that. But when these things happening, And I know there are some things people, I saw some of the crazy tape here and we speak against it. People in a proper guy, and that's the whole thing about it. But when the president speaks, there's a gravity. There's a heavy weight. Then you and myself sitting down talking here, they will say, oh, that man is EDP man. Oh, they man are ANC man. They man are United Party person. But when the president speaks, whether we like it or not, he has the constitutional gavel to make sure peace and sanity is restored in the country. So I don't think he should be afraid of people, some sort of political voice coming at him.
No, but
you
understand this, that the president is not afraid.
Can I say something, please?
Okay, yeah. You want to end your point, then Koto come in?
Yeah, let me just end my point. If Koto want to take a few seconds, she can say what you want to say. Maybe she got her thought. I don't want to lose her thought.
Yeah, okay. I understand you're saying that when the president comes out to say something, then people interpret it differently. But this is the president who is everybody's president, regardless of all other us from different political background. He is the president of Liberia. He comes out to comment when people say things against him, gossip against him. He goes to the church and talk about this gossip. Then what's about somebody's life? Nobody's saying he should come out and say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. But at least what we expect from him is to express some sympathy and to even ask the government area that is responsible to take necessary action. He is not going to demand and to say you must make it right or you must make it wrong, but take the necessary action. That's all they need from him. He's not CDC's president. He's
all right,
the president. That's for where we're speaking. You can't sit there, but other things can gossip. Can you go and talk about gossip? When your citizens are dying, you don't talk about it. That's my point with him.
So the president spoke on several issues in the country. In fact, he recommended to the legislature you remember when he came to writ in Liberia, the president made a recommendation, but we still have Liberian women going to him and disrespecting him, even though he opened his arms and then they disrespected him there, but he accepted it. And he told them, say, while you're here, I already sent a bill in there so that these crimes can be, investigated and the penalty will be harsh. The president is speaking. Now, this is the thing I keep saying. It's not that it is wrong for you to come up and say, look, enough is enough. We have had president that, spoke against killing in Liberia. I remember when I was in Bon Mines, there was a woman that was killed, and the people said that Crawford ate and she was pregnant. They took the baby on the crop, and the people said that Crawford killed the woman. Those said, you want to see them catch that Crawford and bring it. They went Bon Mines. They didn't really catch that. During the Civil War, we got the news that the people who did the act, they were captured. But did it stop the killing in Liberia? No. The president will come out and speak. But when people start to politicize every little thing in our country and put it on government instead of saying, okay, citizen did to citizen, why is it that we are pushing it on government? Why are we who are educated sit in America here? We allow somebody to sit here and tell us lies, and we know in our own self, our own conscience, that person is lying. But because we are on the other side, we join them to amplify or exacerbate the situation. I think it's wrong. I think we should sit down and think logically as Liberians that went to school, that can understand and say, no, wrong is wrong. Let us give these people who are responsible to carry on their work, especially the security apparatus, to bring this to logical conclusion. The Talbot son that got killed, everybody was politicizing it. Oh, they getting it. When it comes to find out, after the police did a whole investigation, they got the perpetrator. Up to now, I still hearing people saying that death was not resolved. The person who the court confessed to the crime, they say it was not resolved. So what more can we do? I think the idea is we are too politically divided, and that's the problem. And we should be divided on issues that, yeah.
Let me, Mr. Pajoy, good evening, welcome. So let me ask this, and then the panelists, we can take it on. Maybe I'll put it. And I know whatever you say, that's not a word, that's not the mind of the president. So do you think the government, let me say the government, the head of the government is the president. Do you think they are more worried of the reaction, what people going to say than doing what is right? Is that thing that is factoring in?
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's my own thing I'm saying here. I think the government is doing exactly what the government is supposed to be doing. But what happening is the people who are responsible to even help our people understand, they are misleading our people. And that's the reason why we have this information.
When you say people, who are the people?
Okay, take for example, look at what happened to Gloria Scott-Hutz. Jerome Verder came and turned out 4 cases that look so political. And when you look into the case today, it has absolutely nothing to do with politics. But look at what happened.
We don't know the findings yet, though.
There are findings.
I'm saying we don't know yet for sure.
We know for sure that it has nothing political, because
that's not what I'm saying.
That's why you said
the case is not yet been concluded. The investigation is going on. I hear also questions how Verdict come away, and I feel as a high-profile lawyer, and that's not only he, most of the people. When you have information, if you don't even trust for whatever reason you feel uncomfortable with the government, the security, which of course we need to put them to test as well. But here, what people do, if you not even trust the news outlet in Liberia, you give it a credible news outlet. You have the Washington Post. Expose it. Let it gain international recognition that XYZ is happening in the country, and it has to be exposed. I can't come here and say, oh, somebody did so and say I'm holding it.
But so that's the thing. When I say it has no political thing. Did you even hear what Gloria Scott said today when they answered the question?
We're going to play it here. I don't want to. I'm not invested. Amos George, welcome to the show.
They will bring the evidence. The person who
of course.
That's what she said. And she said those have been lying that they've been interviewing her. You came here and said they interview her.
Oh yes.
She came out to say that she was never interviewed.
Oh yes, she was. She said
so you mean all of you lying?
No, she also said it.
We want the truth.
Okay. Let's maintain sanity here. Yeah, go ahead, OJ, and I'll bring Pa Josh in.
Okay, I just want to say something. Mr. Ketter, I know that obviously you are a George Weah supporter. So I really admire how you're standing by your candidate, strong-hearted. That's great. But my thing is, like Mr. So mentioned, George Weah is president of Liberia, not just the CDC and people, okay? He's president of everybody in the country. If an issue arises that is a big deal in the country, yes, by all means, it is his duty and his right to say something and speak up. It just goes to show that somebody had said in the comment that George Weah is heartless. It just goes to show that we need to get this man out of office because he is definitely heartless. If you think about it, the president, let's take a look of, let's say Barack Obama, doing the Black Lives Movement, all the gentlemen that was killed by police brutality, he spoke up. He denounced it. He said something. Yes, by saying something doesn't mean that he's going to go on the floor and do changes. He cannot, but he still spoke up. He even went to the funerals of some of these men that were killed. So yes, it is George, Weah's duties to speak up. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. He needs to be out of the office. That's another good reason why we need to get him out and vote somebody else in. Another good reason.
So she mentioned me. Can I respond to her?
Yes, please.
You know what happened? Yeah, we're going to do it. Let's spin it. But just take note. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to do invest. Just take note. We're going to give you an equal time to respond. But I want us to spin this, and I'm putting the number out here for us to allow to get the voices of the people that also take time to listen to us. To have these things here. These are our views, our opinion based on what we know. Amos George.
Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome.
How you doing, Mr. So OJ?
Hi,
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank
Madam
you so much.
Mr. Ketter.
Okay. So let me start this here. There was something Arthur Johnson argued on. Other people have different interpretations for it. But I know in this country, when there is a crime, and we shouldn't be setting different standards for different people. When there's anything committed and you are within the proximity of that thing, definitely investigators, security, especially that's something that has to do with people's life or anything of injury or whatever, of course they will want to talk to you. This was Arthur Johnson, and I've been hearing different soundbite conversations all in the corner. And I hope this will go. Let's listen to him yesterday, not the first day to the police headquarters, but yesterday press briefing after consultation with the Lord Mayor of Monrovia, the defense team now what they're coming up with.
This incident, we first of all, our client was subjected to an invitation yesterday by the Liberian National Police, which we appear, but were only confronted by statements made on the media, social media, by Councillor Jerome Verdier, the former chairman of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Liberia, who substantially alleged that Honorable Jefferson Koji was the mastermind of the crime that was committed at the residence of the former Chief Justice. We take this allegation very seriously. Very seriously. And honor our laws. Councillor Verdier is aware, as a veteran lawyer, that the burden of proof is upon the party who alleges. In a criminal prosecution, if you are a private prosecutress or private prosecutor, in other words, the person who assists the government in the prosecution of a criminal case, you must assist the institutions of government that are responsible to investigate such matters. It is against this background that we are appealing and calling on the international community to impress on Councillor Gloria Musu Scott to make herself available to the investigation to tell the investigators what happened. Also, when the crime was committed, as far as we are concerned, based on the information that was received, even her revelation as to what happened, her account of the story, there were people that were in the house when that child was being killed.
Okay, let's hold this point here. We need to have it pieces by pieces. There were other people, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Of course, if you are in a house, when you are in an area when something happens, whether you are aware or not, everybody, trust me, will be run. There will be everybody going to be. You will go first, and then initial investigations or whatever they gathered will vindicate you or whatever it is. Now, I don't know why. Every time, every other thing, I try to figure out, I really want to get the answer. And that's what I've been trying hard to see what I will have the opportunity to talk to Major Koji, even when I was in Liberia. I don't know why, what is the motive, why, if there's anything or way his name is being called, whether it's done with facts or so. I just don't understand. I try to process this thing here. But Amos George, and let me bring some. That is the lead defender for Major Koji, Councillor Arthur Johnson. They call on the international community. They want to know. And one of the things he's really argued yesterday, and we saw that the Scott family going down to talk to the police. Was that a good start to get to the little detail of this whole case? Other people say she shouldn't need to go to that. I don't agree with that.
Mr. So, you know me for this. The police is a nonsense. What they're doing is complete nonsense. When there's a crime committed, the police will have to talk to those who reside within, if a house in that house or where that crime took place in that facility, they have to talk to people. So I understand Councillor Musu is going through a difficult period. But you heard today that I am a lawyer. I know the law. At no time I refuse to talk to the police. What the police should have done that day, getting on the scene, you have to talk to people in that house. I don't care what happened. Take photos, pictures, interview the people who were in the house when that incident occurred right there. Right. That's preliminary. You can come back later on, but you have to do that. So Councilor Johnson was right. That's why I said the police continue to embarrass us. Number one. Two, the police lie again. Said the lady was not cooperating. You heard right from the police building today. She said she had to come up because what had been floating on social media that she was not cooperating. The woman said, I am a lawyer. I know the law. So the police must be professional right there. 2, 3 here. The police director in front of the Liberian Senate asking about the press release that the police had put up earlier that they talked to her and she said it was a domestic worker. Police director, he didn't know about that statement. It was from the public relations office of Moses Carter. But how can you be a director? A sensitive information like that going on and you did not approve of it? And if you did not approve of it, what is the disciplinary measure you're taking against that officer that did that unilaterally? And Carter sat down here, said the police spoke to the woman. He put that document in the chat room. I don't know what he put it, but I'm sure he said he was going to put it there. And I told him, Carter, did the police speak to the woman? He said yes, emphatically yes. The director said no. He didn't know about that press release. So these are the partisan things. Then the Carter come and rely, oh, you know what happened? It's politicized. When you're the police director under your government is denying press release from his department, that speaks volume. So here's the thing, Mr. So. You know, when these things happen, people say, oh, they want to politicize it. Come on, man. There was a train derail in California, in Ohio. The people were asking whether Joe Biden will go there. And that state voted against Joe Biden. Ohio. But they were asking whether the president will go there. That's why he has sent his minister, Buttigieg, there. But they were wondering whether the president will make a visit there. The office had to come and say, no, the president will not make a visit there. So when these things are happening, and he said, because when the president says so, people are accusing, no, that is part of his job. But I can say this to anybody, the president is heartless. And I will tell you why.
Do you strongly believe that?
Yes, he is. When those auditors gave the Lamanen that mysterious death, the president did not issue a word of condolence to those people. But he went in a church and he said our boyfriend and girlfriend business. Mr. So, as a leader.
Hold on. Pajoy, hold on, Russell. Let me hold right there. You know, everybody gotta be here responsible, whether you defend, you support. Keter. Mr. Keter.
I'm here, I'm listening.
Yeah, you are pro-GOL government supporters. You heard what Mr. Joyce said, and we all saw or heard that. Do you think that was a right statement to come from the head of a government?
Well, the president believed what he believed when he said what he said. The investigation also unearthed that those people died of carbon monoxide.
Yeah, let's assume they die of natural causes, carbon monoxide, gas, poisoning, whatever it is. But do you think, as the head, do you think that was the way you were to say it?
Okay, so like I said before, when we try to politicize stuff, these are issues that will come out.
Okay. For your peace, let's just allow our caller. Caller, good morning or good evening. What are you calling from? Can you lower your monitor, please?
Good morning.
Okay, good morning. Thank you very much. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is, for now I prefer to remain an anonymous caller.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I call from Europe.
You call from Europe. All right. Don't cross my mind at all before you go.
But Mr. So, why the man?
No.
I mean,
I don't do that. I'm not involved with those kind of things.
We come here,
Thank you for the show, and good morning to the panelists. All of you guys. I want to say thank you for the show. I have a question for Mr. Keter. He talked about people politicizing issues in Liberia. And whenever this president comes up and responds to those issues, people come up with political statement because the country is divided. Now, you cannot divide politics from national issues. That's the first thing. Then my question is, what do he make of the statement the president made when he said Kifty Lama and what is the other auditor name? They were having some love issue and that one led to their death. What is he going to make of that statement in the morning, or what is his own interpretation to the viewers? If a president can come up and respond to a situation in that pattern, what does he make of that? That's my question to him before I proceed further. If he can kindly address that, please.
But so you want me to answer him?
Yeah, quickly here. I mean, we're not going to do an investigation, but
okay,
just
first of all,
for the benefit of for his doubt too.
My brother, you have to identify yourself. We all here, you see our faces, you see our names, and you say you want to be anonymous. Nobody running after you. If we can put ourselves all in the public space, you have to identify yourself before I answer your question. Thank you.
Oh boy.
Wow. Okay. My name is Lawrence Fala.
Okay, Lawrence Fala. So this is the thing here, right? Like I said to the panelists at the beginning of the show, when we start to politicize issues in our country, crimes that have been committed in the country, when we try to politicize and put it on people in government, we're all getting facts. We get information. People will react the way they see fit. All right. When you listen to the president did not mince his word. And when the investigation went on, it was unearthed that those people died from carbon monoxide. I live here too. I live in America. Do you know how many people died from carbon monoxide in a car doing the same thing?
Kettle.
Okay, now. Now, let me just chip in a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. 30 seconds, so I'll go back to my people. Make your final
Okay, all right. Okay. Now, you said the president, after the report was conducted, the finding was the people died of carbon monoxide. Fine. But why didn't he, as a president, wait for that report? Why he couldn't tell the people, oh, we are conducting an investigation to come up with an informed decision as to how this thing transpired? Instead, he made a statement. In fact, that I don't think that is something that it was a well-calculated statement. It's not something that he made error or just something that he just came up and he was just hijacked or he was on some form of cohesion to make. No, he was not coerced.
All right. Thank you so much.
That was a direct statement from the president. That was a statement that something that it's something that he premeditated. He planned it already to come and just say anything that he want to say because he feel that he don't owe it to the Liberian people, and that way he always getting things wrong.
All right. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you so much. Call back anytime.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for your participation.
Brother, so you see that question you asked? You see that question you asked from the beginning of the show? Do you see what I said? We politicize everything, and sometimes the president should be quiet until things work out.
You know, here is the thing here. We who doing this thing here, we gotta get up, sort of put out an iron jacket. But let me just ask you here: if you were the, let me internally make you an advisor to the president of the Republic of Liberia, somebody who he gets consultation maybe to speak. With such a kind of case, if you were the advisor and the president called you, Mr. Ketter, I need your advice. This is what's going on with this deaf stuff and thing like that. And those sort of choices were put forward to you to make a pay. Will you tell the president to go that way? If it was carbon monoxide, will you tell the president that boyfriend, girlfriend stuff? And
I would advise the president not to speak until we come up to a logical conclusion from the security apparatus. That's what I would say.
So what is the big deal to say yes, even though I support this president? But I think the president jumped the gun. He did not wait for the investigation. And then he came out to say that just being a little bit complete humiliation on the part
it's the same reason why we're speaking now. And some of our panelists saying why the president come out to say.
Forget about the panelists. You people, you get a side. You're defending your side. He defending his side. She's taking off about. We are talking about the guy that literally is our lifeline in his decision making.
Well, like I said, because of the politics, the way we conduct ourselves in our country when it comes to the politics, I think we should stop the politicizing of crimes in our country and wait for us to have an investigation concluded before we come out to start making different statements instead of they're putting. I mean, sometimes it's premature. When the people die, the first thing the government not caring. The government not doing one. Look at the kind of time they was doing it. It was the time, yeah.
If the country is being misguided with falsehood, subliminal messages, innuendos, all of these things that kind of create a chaotic situation in the country, who is best suited to talk about and speak to the nation? Look, we need to stop this. This is not good for our country. And anybody who caught a phone doing anything, because these things has the potential to create chaos and insecurity in the country. Who is best suited to address this sort of issue? Check your microphone.
Sorry, the president, I mean, is a no-brainer. The president definitely should be addressing it. But it's so sad. It kind of triggers me a little bit because I remember, during the whole pandemic with COVID, instead of our president doing the most like other presidents in other countries, he created a song, right? Instead of you making laws, supporting the locals, giving them aids, providing food, planting COVID testing centers all over Liberia, providing PPEs, he was creating songs. George Weah is clearly not fit to be a president. He shows himself every single time. And this is just another example why he shouldn't be president. So people, I beg y'all please vote October. I beg, please vote and get this man out of office. He's not fit to be president of Liberia.
Who they voting for?
They're voting for Alexander Cummings. And I have declared my stance now. I have officially declared my political party. I am going Alexander Cummings.
I think we need to tell Cummings now to pay his some publicity promotional, because you get Emo Joy Cummings, you get OJ now Cummings, Jennifer Dolake Cummings, Koto, one side Boyka, another side Cummings.
He's the only fit president, Mr. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Wilson.
But Keta, that's not being fair, though. To be honest, to say that, to hear what you're saying, that's not being fair, and that's just not being fair to the audience as well, though.
No. Let's be honest here. The audience, let me tell you, our society, we have a democratic society.
Okay, let me ask you this here.
Go ahead.
Has the president gone wrong in any administrative decision making that you remember or you disagree with? Is there anything that you disagree with the president since his inception as president?
Maybe if you bring that to my attention, maybe I don't know. Bring that to my attention.
So everything. No, I'm just asking everything about so far as
there's no way you can live as a human being and you won't err. They said to err is human, to forgive is divine.
Okay, let me not say the president. This government, do you think this, because you say you're pro-government supporter, do you think this government has gone wrong in the administrative decision?
Oh yes.
What could be the example of that?
Okay, let me say something. I frown on the security, especially the police, how they handle crime scene. On crime scene, I've talked about it over and again. And one example will be at Gloria Scott residence. No one is above the law. The police is the first line of defense when it comes to that. Whether you vice president, or when these kind of crime happen, and the police is called upon, the police should to make sure they get the preliminary investigation on the way, secure the scene. And most time we see in our society, the police, the police is not really doing what it's supposed to, what it's supposed to do when it comes to these kind of crime. I frown on that. All right. Secondly, I frown on the mixed messaging from different agency within the government instead of speaking one word, and that was taken care of when it was happening when Eugene Falcon was deputy information minister and all that kind of different people coming up. So that I frown on those things, right? Now, If I tell you that there's no misstep here and there, I will be lying to you.
So are you saying the time Eugene was there, the time all of these things, bad things were going on?
I mean, misinformation.
Your Mayfield.
I'm talking about mismessaging, right? Mismessaging was on the increase. One person will sit on the side and sit on, other person will sit on the side. But now, I think they're being coherent with their messages. But let me be honest here with you. We cannot just talk about the little things that they misstep. Let's look at the bigger picture. What is happening? This case that is ongoing, should that case be something that will be going international big time, that it will bring the country almost up to a standstill? No. If that case is concluded, they will sit and say, oh, but what's going on? But because we politicize it, making it look bad, look at the TRC, look at it, what an economic crime scene are advocating for.
Is it not legitimate? Let me tell you, you know what is happening? Like in our own very home, if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 boys, and every day they're fighting or they're doing some sort of disorderly conduct, and you as a father, and you fail to take charge as a father, you are the head of the home. You have 1 or 2 of those kids, they're causing trouble. You know who they're going to come to? Why you think when your children doing stuff here, it means you are unable to manage them. They take the children with on age or whatever it is, they take them away from you. The reactions of the people there is another way of calling the government, and not just only the government, the president's attention. Look, this thing is like a culture now. It's like a tradition now. Every other time we will come to this. Every other time we will come to this. And nothing is being done. And I was just asking if you were advising the president, you said no. So I don't know why you couldn't say, I want to tell the president to say, yeah, the boyfriend and girlfriend business. I don't know why you distance yourself from that. But
the reason is simple.
We are saying, like some you were talking about the virus. Well, the song, I think I've listened to it. There are so many ways you get people attention. I'm not really driven into that much. But like why you think Joe Biden exhibit his vaccination administration? Why you think other world leaders, because all of us, including you and myself, we all had this apprehension that this vaccine going to do X, Y, Z. But when you see your leader, when you see your president taking that to say, okay, I'm administering this because it's going to make me to sustain life. This virus is dangerous. We have tested this vaccine, and it will be a sort of a prevention to kill or to fight back this stuff. That's why it's not just because he want to take picture. There are so many pictures out there, but he do it so that the people will understand that it's just not an illegal something, but it's a legal something, and perhaps it has been tested. It might not be 100%, but that's another way to reassure the citizen. Let's see, and then we'll go back here. Corot, good evening.
Yeah, hi, Mr. So, how you doing? And hi to the panelists.
Welcome to the show. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Ambrose, and I'm calling from Kentucky.
Okay.
The question you asked for Jeffrey being implicated in a lot of these hardcore cases or accused of killing people or have something to do with it. I think from what I've heard or learned, they say it has to do with a female. It's a female issue because it's a lot of pictures on social media right now where they have, I think, 2 light-skinned girls. One, they got accused, Kochi recently, on the ex-wife, and Henry Koska and wife, both of them, and both of these ladies took picture with him, or I don't know if they're going out with him or whatever.
You know what? Those kind of conversations, I really don't. We don't really devote time.
No. You said what they both were hating. That's one of the main reasons. You don't have to take my word for it. But I'm just telling you, that's what people said. That's why they have an issue with him because I think. What the body said, the mayor used to work for Valley or work with him before or live with him, or they had a relationship period when he was in Liberia when he was never a mayor. So I'm just saying, yeah. And the meeting I wanted to talk about or wanted to get your saying on it, if the former Chief Justice said she was responding or answering questions, because the senator from Grand Pastor said they have interviewed the lady on, I think today's Friday. On Thursday they interviewed her for 4 hours. But when they asked the lady or asked her at the police station or one of her lawyers if she got interviewed, and the lawyer said he was not aware of that. It never happened. So how they can reconcile with that? And they say they being
okay. That's a good piece there. And I was shocked and that's this sort of question or concern here just plays perfectly into Mr. Keto's argument, because Nyombli Kanga then I don't think that's how they have other groups. They are lawmakers. They should be able to hold these people responsible. These security apparatus, they are committees, oversight responsibility in both houses, the lower and the upper. But when they stay into the way of vesting and try to show something because they have some sort of political ambition, it also kills the substance of what we really want to get to. I think there are other competent, strong women, brave women who have been in the advocacy. I'm not saying it was something, but for her to turn to be like almost like a spokesperson to Gloria Scott, I think that was just, I don't know. Whether she was asked to say what she said, I just don't know, but I don't think that was a rule.
Okay. My next question I wanted to bring up was something. You see, we live in America and we live in a advanced country, and the former Chief Justice clearly said this is not a value saying somebody got pepper spray. Her said it today. She pepper sprayed somebody. But my problem I having with that, can she provide the pepper spray can that she used so it can be verified, because we can put it through. It can be verified for fingerprint to make sure that all fingerprint.
Okay, thank you so much, my man.
Mr. Scott, no, we gotta be.
I agree with you. This is why I agree with Arthur Johnson that apparently she witnessed what all was happening, so she's gonna be helpful to this process. If she recognized or whatever it is, I mean, and the family, not only her but all the other folks that were there, they went out today. We just need some sort of transparency in this investigation, because there were a lot of multiple tone voices coming out and what we just don't know. I was in there. Somebody in America said this happened, that happened. Well, now I'm happy that she showed up. And we, at the end of the day, if the national government needs help, I think let them get to people and carry out some real forensic that will tell her exactly, what happens in that place, even if it requires some sort of autopsy.
But also,
because
the
former police officer, I don't know, I can't pronounce it anywhere. They say something happened in Bon County, where the boyfriend killed his girlfriend, and they had to do a DNA test where the American government helped before they could find out that it was the boyfriend that did it, because he was friendly with one of the lawmakers from Bon County or whatever. Yeah, because he was going scot-free, like he never did it. He was.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Let me go to the caller. Thank you so much. You see, this is what happens, and I'm coming to you, Mr. George. This is how sometimes it's like a rule somewhere. Anytime somebody cookie is missing in our closet, there they say that you the one. Alfonso can say he the one. It's okay. That's what happens when you are a government and you kind of like, you're not laying hand on things as it happen to find an immediate solution. Anything you don't know, and that's how wicked people, other country opposition people also doing propaganda also to blackmail the government. That's how they can do it, because when something happens, they know that you're not going to take any action, no result, nothing. So bad people comes and do this thing and it dump on you. That's what happens if you fail to take action as a leader or as a country. Amos George.
Yeah, let me say this. When of course they should look for the pepper spray, but that's not how you gather evidence. The pepper spray, if she did use pepper spray, you know how many person's hands are going on that pepper spray now? You have destroyed all the evidence on that. You have destroyed the crime scenes that have been destroyed because everybody going to the place. So because that's why they say when the crime is committed, immediately when the police arrive there, because they will be able to look around. maybe somebody dropped something, hair screen, and they will look for it. That's why the police go there initially supposed to go to underground scene to see. Because maybe there was altercation, maybe that person hair drop or scratch a person, all the things. You get her it. But when I heard Councillor Johnson speaking, we went to the police and they only asked him about what were peruse on social media. Then the police, they had a response to ask Jefferson, where were you that night? When you made your last phone call? Who all you met that day? These are questions that need to.
How do you know that?
Social media,
no, but hold on one second. Mr. Joyce, how do you know that those questions wasn't asked?
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Huh?
Councillor Johnson played a tape. He said they only asked his client about statement on social media.
But also remember, but remember, and he went further on the first day. But listen, you see, you're not taking. When the investigation is ongoing, you do not expect all of the full details. I'm just saying, we saw the first appearance of Johnson. The second day he came out, and there were some people, sometimes they jump to a conclusion that why he didn't say they're going to sue first. Of course, when you representing me as a client, it doesn't mean my civil liberty cease. No, I'm coming. So he needs to consult his client. Should we push the case? If the client says yes, fine. But you can't just go there in as much. I mean, technically, in fact, hopefully tomorrow I'm supposed to be having a veteran police officer here. If or he doesn't cancel, he was in Liberia and he's currently here to have a conversation. But what I'm saying, you would not expect that lawyers in the first day of the initial investigation. Remember, he's defending his client who was being accused of something. So he will always be in the defensive position. You don't expect him to come out with all of the information. I'm just only saying, unless the police tell us.
No, I'm only giving my opinion. I said these are questions need to be asked. Because Jefferson Koji, in a press conference, is on tape. He said that he was uncomfortable to talk to this young man. And I made a statement that he should tell the people why he's uncomfortable to talk with a man that he is employed that have been accused. These are questions need to be asked from your own statement you make. That's how people conduct investigation. But so let me say this. What we see here, we make our opinion. It's not facts. It's not final. But we know, some all know that certain things need to be done. And when these things are not in the initial stage, you blow your potential or to undermine that very investigation. And the police continue to play the same old role. Why would the police did not interview Gorosa the day they arrived there? Why? She had come on TV and said, no, nobody approached her. The police did not approach her. She's willing to talk to the police. The police director went in Congress and said, hey, the press released our issue. It was not, I'm not aware of it. Those things undermine the investigation. And Mr. Kete, you said you relax saying this. But my brother, this is what some of us say. We all support all sides. But when your side is wrong, they make you say it. You cannot answer a simple yes or no question from Mr. Soul about your president that you defend here. Statement that he made was it right. You cannot come already to say yes, it was right or it was wrong. You try to shadow the question down.
Let me bother the water. You may asking yes or no, the other day answer it.
Oh, you ask me a question, I'll answer it. Jonathan Pele, you spoke. No. You spoke about Jonathan Pele. Your president made a statement against Jonathan Pele that threatened his life. That one Jonathan Pele spoke about it. And that one I said that was a threat to Jonathan Pele because he was doing his job. Okay. And I said that Jefferson Kochi has remedy at law. If Councilor Verde say anything against Jefferson Kochi, which he cannot prove beyond all reasonable doubt in the court of competent jurisdiction, Jefferson Kochi has a right to sue Councilor Verde. So there's nothing there that I will come and say, oh no, Jerome has his right, Jefferson Kochi has his right. If I say something against Jefferson Kochi and I want to malign his character, he has a right to take me to court. And I said the other day, the Minister of Justice can contact Councilor Verde. Look, you said this thing and we want to assist us to prosecute the case. They can ask him. If you say no, they make it public. Then we'll know whether it's personal or he just want to create confusion. But during the absence of everything, we can't say that no, he does. We can't do it. We have to do it.
Okay.
And get it again. I come back to you. Your press release issue. Can you tell her again? Because that day you were very smart, telling us that we are intelligent people. We ought to know better. The police director said that statement was not issued by him. He was not aware of it. What do you have to say now to us? Because you said you were posting it there that they talked to Glorious that day.
Can I answer him, brother? So?
Yeah, just asking you.
Yeah, I can.
So what do you stand today? You still stand by that police report?
I want for the moderator to give me the floor to answer you.
No, I just asked you, do you still stand by that police report?
Am I protected, brother? So
everybody who firing, who going to you?
Validator protecting you. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me tell you.
Oh God.
So let me tell you. The police director was right, because when they asked the police director in the Senate, the police director said they didn't talk to her directly. She went to the justice minister and talked to the justice minister. The justice minister talked to the police, and I want the police came with a statement. Today she confirmed it.
The guys on the
I also sent a video to Brother Soul. He got that video. The chief investigator that on this case that interviewed Glorious Scott, he had almost like a 35 minutes conversation with Mika people. I want you to listen to it. Brother So can play it. We can argue from there, because it was something he's saying that ongoing.
Yeah, so it's true. You send it in the group. I tried to, but trust me. I mean, I couldn't almost the time. Only most of Sky here, but we're going to look at it. Sister, good evening, welcome. The ladies, we want you to be part of this whole thing. But let's also bear in mind, the police interrogation is not a court. The court going to go more extensive in terms of a lot of the details. The police are just doing their preliminary. At the end of the day, it is the court that are going to tell us. And when they get on the witness stand, and then that's where the real question is going to ask.
The Minister of Justice will have to approve all the charges the police have levied against whosoever in that case. The Minister of Justice
the DA should be able to push it from there. Sister, good evening, welcome. Ladies, what's going on?
Yeah, but you supposed to give the go ahead, and we're standing by. You're not giving.
No, it's not all. Everybody here.
You're not moderating properly.
I don't just want to jump in. Yeah.
But you're not moderating properly to put my hand up for a vote of no confidence. Just like the police RG, the intelligent gangster, Inspector General, they wanted to put a confidence in.
Yeah, but you know,
take charge.
No, that's
why you take charge.
Can I go now? Can I talk?
No, take charge. I can't talk. So today I'm not taking charge.
I think I need to take charge.
Say you are a national security threat to this network.
Can I talk?
You are a national security threat to this network.
What? The country gets your problem. Go ahead, Koto.
Yeah, you know, and this is the point when some of us, you know, come to discussing politics, we get, you know, mad with people. I cannot be supporting somebody and they do wrong. I would not tell them that they did wrong. There is no way that people will come up because you say people will attack me, then I don't say anything as a president. Then why are you president? For me, that's the point I am. I'm not even talking about the police director, justice minister, who put them in power. It is the president. You have this guy in office. And besides, even there, you said that the result came up that these people died from carbon monoxide. Let's agree they died from carbon monoxide. But what can cause somebody to die from carbon monoxide? What is the intent? Those are issues. You can't just say, also the person died from carbon monoxide and that be the end. That where forensic, you know, investigation kicks in. If they die from carbon monoxide, they then create the carbon monoxide, or somebody put the carbon monoxide on them for them to die. Yes, don't strain your eyes on me. We all know what the depth of carbon monoxide is. If somebody died from carbon monoxide, it might have been either the car they were in was defective that led to the carbon monoxide killing them. You can't just be in a car, sealed up, and carbon monoxide kill you. No, there's no, yes. I don't know, you don't know that. I'm telling you now, I know about it. There is no way you will be in the car is air conditioned and sealed up, carbon monoxide kill you. It must be there is a leakage on your car, and that carbon monoxide penetrated the car and led to your death. So those are questions that needed to be asked. Okay, this person died from carbon monoxide. Where did they die? Then they investigate the car, they check the car to make sure indeed there was a way that the carbon monoxide could escape that car. There are a lot of ways you do the investigation. You can say somebody just died from carbon monoxide. Okay, we agree somebody died from carbon monoxide. That's not how investigation goes on. And besides, you keep saying, oh, the president can't say anything because the way people handle issue. Oh, people handle issue and you chose to be president. You're not going to be there and say because people handle it, I handle it the way I want to handle it anyway. No. You are president. You are responsible for everybody or even a child death. You are. Even if you didn't want to be comment, extend sympathy. Just extend sympathy. I don't want to be bothered. We just extend sympathy to the family and be done with it. That people will say that, okay, this man is concerned. But you didn't do it. You said people died from carbon monoxide, and that's all. And once they came out to say he said boyfriend and girlfriend, the next thing I followed, carbon monoxide. That was the end of that case. Then you say it's finalized. For me, it's not finalized. Where that carbon monoxide came from to kill the people, I want to know where it came from. So the case is not closed. You don't conclude case like that. And you say now because it haven't happened to you. Let it happen to you, Keta. You know your family person that had died that way. You will know where the pins are. To sit there and say, yes, because they're doing things and the president should do it. If you experience it, you will not sit there and it happened to somebody, you don't say anything. For me, that's the point I am, because a husband, one thing happened to other people like that, and people sit back and just make judgment like that. That's the death of somebody's brother, somebody's sister, somebody's auntie, and somebody's family. In the first place, when somebody died, the first thing you go on the scene, you are going there for investigation. You're not just going there to talk to people. The first thing you do, even if the person was there, take the preliminary statement from them. They don't have to go to police station to take preliminary statement from them. You take the statement right there and make sure the crime scene is observed and photographed. Do we have anything of such? No. So you expect the lady to just sit there, and she said it today. They talked to her, the man talking to her, and they came out and said they have not talked to her. You saying she talked to the justice minister. So if she talked to the justice minister, wasn't there anybody there to be jotting down what she was saying to the justice minister?
Okay.
Okay. So those are issues that we that's why I'm concerned. Cases are still pending. It hasn't come to a conclusive stage.
Okay. Well, OJ, let's so with that here. But let me just ask this one here. The coming forward of Councilor Gloria Musu-Scott, would they sort of stabilize all of this here? Will it help us to get to the bottom leg? If, like I heard, I haven't listened to that tape myself directly, that she used pepper spray, then probably the possibility of recognizing the doer or those who ever committed that, and there's something we will be able to get a little bit detailed.
Yeah, but in fact, that day who I said, oh, the pepper spray you use, where is it? Take picture, zip lock it, and keep it for investigations.
Well, we don't know if she threw it away or she still there. Yeah, OJ, come in there. I'll bring in Sissy.
How do we know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how our Liberian detectives and police officer, I don't know who do their training. Is it also bribed? Because I watch a lot of Fatal Attraction, right? And I listen to how these detectives, whenever they go into a home that someone has been murdered or killed, they have protocols and structure in place. But it's something that our Liberian people is lacking. So it just kind of like lead me to think, who is training these detectives and police officers to conduct situations like this? Like, who's training them? Because obviously they're lacking. They're not getting the evidence that we need. They're not even doing the right publicity when it comes to like telling the public what's going on. It's just all over the place, kata. So whoever comes in place in terms of like presidency definitely need to train our public officials. Mr. Wilson is like shaking his head no. But we've seen countless of times how things are just all over the place. We're not structured. We don't have anything in place, and it's kind of sad, to be honest.
Okay, let me, sister, before I bring you in, let's see what we can hear from Gloria Musu Scott, the center of gravity into the conversation in Liberia right now. Let's see. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me just.
Many persons don't know the night of this situation. After this girl was declared dead at the Redemption Hospital, I went straight to the home of the Minister of Justice. It was at that time he assigned 2 soldiers, 2 police officers to take me home. And the next day, being in the days, I can't remember the names of people who came to me, but I had encounters with the police officer. Later on, I was made to understand because right now where I am, it seems like an unending nightmare. And they came and talked to me, and they left. The following day, another group of police officers came to me and talked to me. On Friday, after the week of the incident, the Minister of Justice and some of the investigators came to me and interacted with me. The following week, they wanted to at that time, nobody had told me that they wanted to interview other members of my household. The following week, taking into consideration what was happening, and I informed them that at that point I needed lawyers because I had been in a state of daze. I was dazed about what happened, and I'm still in. And when I started listening to what was out there in the media, clearly I said, this is time now. I'm beginning to simmer down to have other professionals around me, because we learn in law school, there's only a fool who takes himself for his counsel. So that's what I asked for. That's what I asked for. So all that has been in the media, both print, electronic, local, and international, that I refused to cooperate with the police. This is why I'm speaking to you. From my experience and my training as a lawyer, when investigations are being conducted, the investigating institution is allowed to proceed with its work. And even if the institution is giving an update to the population, there are ways they speak to secure the investigation, the integrity of the investigation, but to create the whole narrative that has been out there that the Councilor Scott has refused.
Sissy.
Well, first thing, sorry for being late. I'm at a conference and I had to run to get on here. Councilor Scott just gave a master class on the process of how logical, cogent, intelligent investigations are supposed to happen. But I'm going to say things here, and both the people supporting the government and those people not supporting the government, they're not going to like me. So I'm going to be an island in a minute. Because everybody, I'm going to be my own island. It's not going to be, I think it'll be Terminal Island. I'll be on there by myself. Oh. We can all agree. What are you in opposition? What are you supporting? And by the way, when did this thing become an opposition versus an imposition problem? Not everything in Liberia should be politicized. But to the extent that it has become politicized, whether you don't support George Weah, whether you have a visceral hate of George Weah, whether you love George Weah, whether you pray to George Weah because you think everything he says is great, we can all agree that the Inspector General of Police and Liberia National Police dropped the ball big time. They dropped the ball. The first piece here is they issue a press release that was really not smart. Then they tried to walk back the press release at the Senate when the Inspector General was saying he hadn't talked to the lady, but then he talked to the lady unofficially. So it looks like the police department did not coordinate with Musa Dean, because all they should have said was that we had an interaction with this lady, because the lady is saying she talked to Musa Dean. Instead of them quoting Musa Dean, they went on to quote directly as if they interrogated this lady. And the lady said after that, she also had another investigator go and talk to her. And yet instead, Patrick Sudu, knowing that his investigator had talked to this lady the day after, he goes back to the Senate and say, but it was unofficial. The whole thing is just messy. Now, having said that, it boggles my mind, why did the Liberian National Police call Jefferson Koji to go to the police headquarters to answer questions? What evidence do they have that made Mayor Koji to become a person of interest? What right do they have to get Valitele? What records, what evidence do they have to get Valitele to go to the Liberian National Police to answer questions? My fear here is that people have politicized this thing to the point where other people's constitutional rights are going to be trampled upon. And that is what's happening to Valitele. Valitele is a bad guy by all accounts. I get it. He did some killing in Lofa County. He himself not deny it. I get it. But to use that and draw a line between what he did when he fought for Ulimbo and now say, therefore, this murder is his, I think it's wrong. I think it's very, very wrong. If Councillor Jerome Verdier can listen to the masterclass that was just delivered by Councillor Gloria Scott, give us the evidence. Why are we sitting here in the diaspora explaining things with a play-by-play as if we were in a house when this thing happened? Valitele does not speak proper English. Valitele, by all accounts, comes from a poor stock. I am afraid that he might be railroad, because now he was asked to go to the Liberian National Police. He went there for interrogation based on what evidence? The man has the right to be confronted with the evidence against him. Not somebody saying now on Facebook and yelling, yeah, we got the information, but we'll give it at some time. The Liberian National Police has got itself compromised. They listen too much to the politics of the day, and they are not following the channel and the process of investigation. They are allowing what's happening on the internet, on Facebook, to run their day. And that is why they wrote their letter inviting Councillor Gloria Musu-Scott, because the CDC had delivered a point saying that she should also be there, even though they had already been talking to the lady the day before they delivered, they issued that stuff. Okay, so I think the Liberian National Police needs to get his house in order. Release Valitele if you don't have credible evidence against the man. There are a lot of other people in Liberia walking around and committed crimes during our Liberian civil crisis. You don't just run around and grab them because somebody called their name. That is wrong. And I think
they're holding him.
I don't know, but why did they call all the other generals that are in Liberia? Why did they bring Joseph?
I said they're holding Valitele.
I think they release him. But to the extent that this man's character has been, what would happen if we found out that this guy never did this thing? You know how much you've already damaged him?
So what? Yeah.
Does that man have the money? And that's the thing I don't understand. You really think a person like a Valitele, and I'm not trying to demean this guy, but I don't think he has the money or the financial strength to come to the United States or to hire a lawyer in the U.S. to sue Councillor Jerome Verdier in the U.S. And what would be the case? For defaming me in Liberia, I sue you in American court? Or do I go to international court to sue you? Even that buffoonery, that foolery that Arthur Johnson was talking over there, right? Where he's going to sue anybody, right? But Jefferson Koji has the money, and he can put up a defense, right? And this Taylor guy is just riding under their defense. But I guarantee you, I was in shock when this happened, when this guy was called to go to the Liberia National Police. I am in deep sympathy with the former Justice Minister, the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. But if we are going to do her well, we need to take we need to take the politics out of this whole thing. And the piece I want to frown on my brothers and sisters as I'm frowning on people in the opposition group about trying to run with this thing and demean people and castigate people right away and draw lines that are not there. The same thing with some people in CDC. Have you ever been a victim of armed robbery? Because I was in Liberia. I almost died, and this was during Ellington. I had 3 stitches in my head here. I had 11 armed robbers take over my house at 8 o'clock in the evening when people were breaking fast. They both took over my house for almost 48 minutes. After they were done, they left. We called the police. You know when the police show up? We called the police around 9. You know when the police show up? The next day, 11 o'clock in the morning, after I had already been released from JFK and back home resting. My neighbors were right there. People that used to come charge for in our yard were there. They said they didn't hear it, they didn't see nothing. The police came at 11 o'clock after the fact to try to now collect evidence to do that. So when those people, for you to recognize them in that time when somebody got a gun in your face or they got a knife in your face, is a frightening thing. So to say this lady pepper spray somebody and therefore she should recognize the person, I think is stupid. And to even start running with this thing to try to blame this lady, I think is really heartless. Yes, there are people who can kill their own children. Yes, we are saying that, but that should not be the first thing we run to. I think it's heartless, but I would not say I don't understand it. I think seditions are saying that this is how they defend their people because opposition, the way they group everybody, have been blaming Jefferson Koji, and they're saying it's the president. Look, I got some people send me in my inbox videos saying that Joe, we have brought snake from Nigeria, and you're feeding the snake with your own blood, and I throwing that Gloria Mususka blood. This kind of nonsense. Right, so I get it when citizens come out to back them, but at some point in time, we got to agree on some facts. Certain things just got to be truth without politics, and sadly, this thing has become modern.
So, yeah, I'm kind of concerned. Also, she as a former Chief Justice, former Minister of Justice, high profile person in the society. She said they talked to her. I don't know in what context, in what meaning, but later on, he said, no, I got to get a lawyer. So what was the basis of that conversation?
But Mr. So, that happens everywhere in the world. Yeah. The first problem the woman said, when they started speaking out, the way the police were putting out information, she said, then I got to get a lawyer. But as a matter of fact, even in this United States, Rudy Giuliani, the lawyer to the president, had a lawyer when he was sued. When the FBI went to question Rudy Giuliani, Giuliani brought his own lawyer, Bill Barr, William Barr. Every lawyer gets their lawyer. That's not a big deal.
Now they started talking to her, and there was some sort of disconnect from our Ministry of Justice or whatever. How much will she mean to this case here in terms of getting? What do they need to do? Because it means Councillor Johnson too were also right that this Koji and these people, they don't know why they were invited to the place. I think he put a good defense as well. And now he's calling for more or less what I'm happy to call our international community or intervention to get to
real quick, and I'll let Keto come in. Sorry, Keto. You see, this is the foolery I'm talking about, and it's just going downhill, right? Jefferson Koji should not have to defend himself.
No.
Against what? But the opposition has made the police now so pressured that they're calling Jefferson Koji in to go for discussion. So if I were Mayor Koji, you call me to come to answer questions, I will bring a lawyer. Koji was right to get a lawyer. It would be very stupid if he had gone without a lawyer. So he was right. But the problem now is that this thing has become a showmanship. Yeah, Molu talking about it will go to how to call it, play to Maryland, meet the biological mother and sympathize with that. What kind of foolery is that? And people here giving money and say, Jefferson Koji say, give me 5,000.
Nonsense.
What kind of nonsense is that? They're making fun of this whole thing, and it's not right. But let me tell you now, Koji then are reacting to something. I want to be very fair and frank. I don't think Koji has the wherewithal to run a city, but that doesn't mean that I sit down here and allow somebody to attack him falsely. Koji didn't have the right now to put out these defenses because of what started with Jerome Verdier and what some of us we are supposed to be learned people, smart people, took what Jerome Verdier said and ran with it without questioning anything. That was wrong.
And let me just come in and brother Sissy, I agree with you because you made my night.
Oh, you agree with Sissy?
Oh my God!
You agree with Sissy now?
Oh my
I understand. So I agree with you, brother Sissy. And this is the reason why when I started my conversation here, I said because sometimes I think the advisor to the president things they step back, don't say nothing because the way we politicize things. You understand? Every little death in Liberia, they either put on the president. Listen, even apart from what this man accused Jefferson Koji and Valitelli of, see what he said about the president. How the president collected 3 boys, sodomized them, and took their heart and implicated Moses with the whole thing. And on that same day when he was talking about Valitelli stuff. So that's the thing. When we stop politicizing things, especially key opposition leaders, making the thing look like the government is witch hunting people. If a man and a woman go in the room and the man comes outside and that woman there, that Liberian government kill that person. And the opposition, big political leader will take that thing and run with it. Knowing that our country, the people, how the people think. You understand? It makes it hard for people to sit down and say, okay, how the investigation will go? Because in the eyes of popular opinion, everything is like the government. The government from the side of the opposition. What you expect the citizen to do? Is to sit down and fold their hands? No, they will come up with the counter narrative. All right, and it will look bad like what brother said. But that's the thing. Like I said, I sent a video in this chat room. The lead investigator, he laid everything to rest.
We have a special on that.
So I don't think he will lie on what he said on that thing. If you get step by step, Gloria didn't speak the truth. When they went to her, she told them she was not ready to talk. She will come out the next day. According to the lead guy, they went to her the second time. She told them said she was not ready to talk. They will come out the following day. She ran them around.
I tried to download it.
I want you to listen to it because that's the lead. They call him Moluba.
But at the same narrative the police chief gave, and then he went and denied it again. So then what?
What I'm saying here is she kept putting up a defense, and one of the things he said was that even make me angry and say why. If you investigating a common man on the street, you're not going to ask his opinion. If they have been accused or something happening in the surrounding, you're not going to ask, you're going to demand him to come or you're going to arrest him and bring him for investigation. Why will you give Gloria Scott, who is an ordinary citizen, because she was outside of the group, why will you give her?
I think I can get it. Can I get the audio?
So you want to believe it?
Oh, you know what? We can have a special
thing there. I think let's do a whole show on that thing.
Yeah, we can. You know what? I'll try to go through. We can digest it.
He sent it to me. He sent it to me, and I actually watched it. So tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday, right? We're gonna do it. Okay, but yeah, it's the thing here. I know we are already out of time after the hour here already. I'm waiting. What next? The same. It's been compromised. The evidence being destroyed. What is next now? So, and I said this here the other day with the issue of Jerome Verdier, and people say, oh, you don't have to go there. There's no good government. There's no good government. And why are you accusing the poor? So let's take them as against her. That's the problem that we have as well, because people are unable to tell even their own when they are doing wrong. So now the challenge, the burden now is on Jerome Verdier as well, the guy who presided over a very crucial process, a consequential process. People murder people, people kill people, and he told them, you come, like, you know, you just tell a story and you will go free. And that's one of the reasons Prince Johnson also have issue with him,
Now, and that's what I said, even if you don't trust the police, if you don't trust something, you have big media outlet here. This is how they release those things and become more or less against international attention. He said he holding to A. So what happened with Joy Weah when CDC win the election? Then you will be holding on to A, and then you ready just come and say stuff. So quickly here, what does he need to do right now? Is he willing, according to him, because he provided play-by-play as if there was a webcam that was transmitting, or there was something here that he gave like a real eyewitness full account. What happens if he cannot produce those evidence? And then the police go into the investigation and they finalize the investigation. Will we come back to slam the government because the guy who claims to have the evidence, he did not produce it? What will happen then before we go? Let me start with you, Koto.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
The key question is, should Vadia hold on to those, whatever he has, because he say until good government, I don't know which one is the good, which one is the bad. I don't know how long it's going to be, because when CDC, they're going to election, what happened when CDC win and it goes next 6 years? So what becomes of the evidence that he has in his possession as he claimed?
Thank you so much. Like I said, and I agree with that, because there is no way you can just in a blue sky accuse somebody without evidence. And I also want him, with the accusation he's making, let he come out with a proof, because it is based on the proof we can. I think they can write a judgment. Out of the sky, nobody can just hold anybody responsible for anything, except the proof is there. And I also calling on him, since he has the proof, as he said and narrated. And when he was explaining that day, he said that he is willing to provide this document. And I hope he actually mean it, because you can't accuse somebody falsely and don't provide the proof against them. Because I want that proof also, because based on that, we will know whether he's lying or saying the truth. You can't, whether it is people been saying, like you read it, Sister read this, that Vatican had been a criminal. You don't just conclude because somebody was a criminal before. And even though in cases where incident of such occur, they trace by somebody who had committed such a crime, because they try to relate that crime to people of that nature. It is based on that they relate, but that should have even been the police responsibility to say, okay, this nature of the case, we will trace somebody. Because I remember 1995, there was a girl, my neighbor, a guy went and did something to her, and right away in the police station, they knew somebody who had that kind of record of trace of crime. Right in the police station, they were able to trace that guy. And we got the necklace and thing. So I think they should be knowledgeable how to trace people of such, crime, because that's the first thing they do, and then go on.
All right, let's keep it on another minute. We are. I hope, I don't know who are going to have the time tomorrow. I'm going to confer with this former police officer who really willing to appear tomorrow as well here. So OJ, what's your closing statement?
Sorry. I agree with everybody, what everybody has to say. I guess my only statement is, let's do our best to get George Weah out. That's all.
Oh my God. And oh, Cesar, she finally made her declaration.
Yes.
ANC.
Oh, so she drinking the orange Fanta now?
Good one.
You see Pat George tonight happy? Wow.
Don't worry, her food is still starting.
He's not forcing with me today.
Everybody that come here and declare for ANC, they can start having phone problems. So
okay, Ketra, what's your closing statement?
Well, so like I said, I hope we can go. I mean, all the panelists can go and watch that video that I sent.
Yes.
And then tomorrow we can come and discuss this, because it's important that, I mean, the truth, the truth is said. And this is Liberia. I mean, we cannot continue just putting people, not people who are not guilty and finding them guilty in public space. I think it's wrong. We have laws in our country that when somebody when somebody's accused of crime, they are pursued innocent until proven guilty. We can't sit there. And as for me, the reason why I don't even want to give Jerome Verdier any inch of credit or say anything to say, oh, let him bring evidence, because he got no evidence. There's nothing, nada, zero. It has nothing to do with Jefferson Kochi. It has nothing to do with Valatelli. The case will be decided, and all of us will be shocked to see or hear what the final of that case will be like.
Okay, Josh, quickly.
Yeah, let me say this. Our republic has a constitution. It gives everybody the right to express their feeling, their opinion. Whether you agree or not, they have the right. And also, if I say something about Sisi that turned to defame Sisi on our law, will have that Sisi have remedy at law. He can pursue legal action against me. So, but I just want to make that clear. Jerome Verdier, what he said, I said it from day one. If he cannot prove what he said, for me, he has money, he can pursue legal action against him. And that also will make Jerome Verdier, will bring to the point that Jerome Verdier will become someone nobody will believe again. Because that means he had damaged his own standing. But let me say this. The police, I continue to say this thing here. They blew this case out. They had damaged this case here. Nobody is above the law when there is a crime committed against anybody, especially felony. The Republic of Liberia became the father of that victim. In other words, the Republic of Liberia became father of that victim. So if they invite you, under no circumstance you can say you will not talk to the police. They will have to compel you under the law to speak to them. That is the function of the law. Somebody has lost their life. The Republic of Liberia is supposed to stand in. So if any agent who went there and she said she was not ready, who went there, she was not ready, they are on a remedy at law that will compel her to speak, or anybody for that matter. Is that an excuse under the law? So it means that I can decide that I don't want to talk to the police for any reason. And I just go. When a crime has been committed in my house, someone is there, and I'm making a decision determining that I cannot talk to the police, and the police should sit down and buy it. Can you do that in America? Can you do that in America? This is why I said the police continue to harm the Liberian people. Because if it was one Flomo, they would have dragged him out. They would have dragged he or she out. Right now, as we're speaking, there's a lady killing that open in some part of Bon County. They say a local chief order a 16-year-old boy, tie him and made the people to beat him to death. That one is swept under the law. Nobody talking about it. This is the kind of country we have. That someone will sit in the village, a chief, orders people to beat someone to death, tie him. I think Batala has someone area there. But we hear about it.
We need to send you to Bon County to go carry on to a preliminary investigation.
No, this is the dishonesty among our people.
No.
When my dad died, daughter died, you don't see all the high profile women in the street.
I don't understand.
You don't see them. Princess Copper was killed. Were you making noise? Where were they? Did you see the kind of women out there for Princess Copper? Or their shaman who were talking? Where were they? But let's talk about it.
Justice. Where were they? Let's leave it there. Sissy. Okay, we are about to leave.
Madam Scott, that child lost her life. But the people who come in to say that they are concerned, that are those people I'm talking to. So that they are deceitful people in Liberia. Many of them are deceitful. The owner run to where the grave, and my uncle used to tell me, say, when a poor man die in the town, people don't run there. But someone die in the chief house, everybody run there to show the feasibility.
We only hear the news when the burial, after the burial, and I said,
I'm not burial.
Okay. So, Sese, before you come there, what I want to add on to your closing. Jerome, he's at a crossroad right now, but he created a defense that being very strategic. He will hold on to it until good government can. What the hell, you didn't hold on to it until the good government can before you throw what you throw out there. So now, if he fails to, if the police come up with their investigations and everything being concluded, and he, Jerome Varder, cannot produce, as he claims he's going to hold on to it, who is he in society?
So the first thing, let me lay something out here. In this great United States that we live in, there are people who battles more in society than other people. Let's stop pretending that this is just in Liberia. When there was a break-in at the home of the Speaker of the House, and her husband was wounded, it was a big issue in this country. You think how many other break-ins they have in Minneapolis here, where every time we get death happening almost every night? So let's stop doing anything here and make it look like it's just in Liberia. Councilor Gloria Musu Scott is not just any Liberian citizen, any ordinary Liberian citizen. She headed one of the 3 branches of the Republic. The same way when Joseph Boakai man or whoever died, that Joe went and gave money to and the president went to his house. How many other people, mother-in-law, they ain't die or man ain't die? Why Joe went and go to those people places? So let's stop this thing here. In every society, based on the on how you have served your people in what capacities, it's wrong, but it's laid out in every society that way. So when I just bring that bread alone. Now, having said that, I challenge Jerome Verdier. As a matter of fact, I defy Jerome Verdier to provide the evidence he got. I will sit here and say he ain't got nothing. And he provide that evidence, I will show you, I will tell you the secret, the thing where the serpent told Eve in the garden for Eve ate the apple. I'm keeping it to my chest too. Until we get new government, you get good government in power. I will tell LeBron what the serpent told Eve. It's not there. It is not there. I am saying that I am issuing a challenge to Jerome Verdier to provide that evidence. Look, if you listen to what Jerome Verdier said, the way he said it, the play-by-play, unless there was a TV, a security camera that he was watching, saying doing that play-by-play, that evidence does not exist that will corroborate what he was saying. It does not exist.
Or except if someone participated in a crime and talked to him.
Yeah, so then he will have to show that you have to show that person. And even if the person talked to him, the person will not speak to it from their narrative. He's spoken from so many different narratives, from so many different people, angle or perspective of viewing it. That is impossible to have. Okay? So having said that, the CDC government, my brother, I know you were happy with me earlier. But
I still happy with you, brother.
Let me put small salt.
He about to derail the train now.
No. Here's what I'm about to say. Here's what I'm about to say. There have been many high-profile cases in Liberia. The late William Arotopper, all the other people, high-level security government officials that died, and that I could be wrong, but to my understanding, there has not been a conclusive resolution that the police come out to the public, or the Justice Ministry come out to the public and lay out the findings and the conclusion of findings. And so because of those things that are hanging, every time something small happens, people take that small thing and kind of hang on, I think I stay there. And you were right when you said somebody stormed the totem on Broad Street and fall down. They will say that snake jaw we are brought from Nigeria, where you keep in the mansion that, hey, you saw that person blow away right on Broad Street. They will find a way to hang it. So I think the police needs to find a way to earn some credibility. Start doing some investigation and be careful how you speak. Don't speak in a hurry. Don't allow social media to pressure your investigation. Don't allow social media to get you to violate the rights of ordinary Liberian citizens, as we're seeing in this case with Valley Teller, with Jefferson Koji, and to a greater extent with Councilor Musu Scott. They should not allow that to happen. I will hope President George Weah can come out and speak to the nation, because now this is not something he doesn't know about. There were a lot of ladies at the Capitol, and I'm sure he knows about that. Or at minimum, because I understand every time he speaks on issues, he spoke on the report from the LACC, and people say, oh, he biased it. He spoke on the thing about the people that died on Broad Street. People say he biased it. So I get it when his advisors are telling him not to speak. But I think he can come out and speak and be measured, and maybe just issue a sympathy, or maybe talk to the nation to calm down, that the police will take, that the government will take control and will have investigation. Or maybe even just drive to Gloria Musu's house. You don't have to be friends, but you are the president of the republic. 5 minutes. I know the vice president already called Gloria Scott. The councilor said it, and I know the vice president is a part of government. But he, as head of the executive, I will hope that whoever is advising our president can tell him, Papa, just go there. That 5 minutes, sit down, you say, sorry, mama, it didn't happen with you. You move from there, you go. Because everything you do, people will find a way to castigate you, but you still got to lead the nation. You cannot abscond there. And last but not least, I hope Jefferson Koji take this as a notice. Every time something heinous happens in that country, people tend to link you to it. You become a magnet for any violent thing that happens. People link you to it. I'm not saying he's wrong, but I'm saying at some point in time, as a young man, you got to start to think. Start to think about your surroundings. Very critically about your surroundings. Because this is how governments leave power, and people build our ill will towards you for a long time, and sometimes they manifest in different ways. But I think his lawyer was wrong for saying, for the councilor to say that they should bring international people to come and investigate. You are representing a member of government. Are you telling us now that our government is incapable of doing an investigation? I think Councilor Johnson should be careful with utterances. I still believe that there are very smart people, very credible people in Liberia in the justice system, because not everybody in the justice system will hire about George Weah. No. So let's get that straight. So there are still credible and competent people that can carry out justice. And that is why Tewan Gonglo, in his second point, talks about we will issue an executive order that will get people who unduly interfere, government officials who unduly interfere with police action or with judicial action, will be fired and turned over for prosecution. Because I think bad actors from both sides, opposition and government, have gotten involved in this investigation. And if any putting our RG in Ziale Tule.
All right, guys. Let's say 1 second, please, before you close, right? I think one of the things Arthur Johnson is stressing about bringing international investigator into this whole thing is the way the Senate conducted themselves. If you listen to Commander Wise, he was definite. He said exactly what Jerome Verder said. Not even encouraging the security people to do thorough investigation. He ran with it. And this is a leader of the people too.
No.
Yeah, this is
you trust in your system.
Yeah, he's not.
To be honest,
they're giving prescription.
To be honest, those Senate, I don't think they don't even have the balls to be talking about this thing. These are people. Look at the cars, right? And you have some county. They don't even have no police vehicle, nothing.
Wait to the level.
No.
I mean, so who are they? They enrich themselves, and then they want to even question people that are toothless, guys.
So, Mr. So, the director police said he had paid for 32 cars. The director police said he paid for 32 cars.
Well, let me see it coming. We want to see it.
But says it.
The strength of the police is less than 2,000.
I give him my advice.
Why I'm about to tell you?
I get to Uncle Tamba advice. Lee or
maybe you are not born.
Even Joy having a good night now join ANC. So you go have your meeting.
No, he should read a story about Falavani.
I thought you owe me money, so you must send my money to my cash app.
No problem.
All right, guys.
You borrow someone your money, Oh, mama, they don't want to pay. You are become a boo-boo man.
All right, folks.
Your best friend.
And that's how we're going to leave here this evening. To our many viewers, listeners, your comments, your tweet was so helpful into this process here tonight. It is about the country, and so we have to keep the conversation in the context as it should be. Hopefully, if it goes well tomorrow, we should be having tomorrow afternoon. So I will keep you posted. A veteran police officer, he has his own version as to what is happening. So we're going to be back here tomorrow in the special edition. Thank you for your time. Those are calling, those are following, your comments, your tweets is very much helpful to the process. If this is the first time, this is Liberia Public Radio. You can follow our page, you can advertise with us, and now we can bring you some live streamings of what is going on. We want to thank you so much for your participation. It's about the country, not you, no emotion, no personal feelings. The feelings that are being inserted into this national conversation, it is the feelings of the Republic of Liberia, not conspiracy, not what you think. More or less, the law going to kick in. And it is upon to Jerome Vardia now, because it's not only Jerome Vardia, then it puts the credibility of the TRC process, because we can still tie him to this. If he cannot produce the proof, and he's still going to hold on to that, to his chest, to whatever government he thinks that, he feels comfortable with, then he's doing disservice to our country. And then we begin to question his way, how the TRC process in fact was conducted, which at the end was fragmented, and some of the members did speak out on that. So we hope for the good of the country, as he pointed out on major news networks, that he has all of the proof to himself, and whatever time, hopefully that will be helpful to the investigators. Turn those proof over or give it to the international community so that you can have your own plan as well as to whether it was in giving or not. But we need to know it's not just only your life is involved, and the country, the national security of the country is also at stake. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. I am Alfonso Zienso. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
I've got